Hello viewers, welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm your guide for today's stories, Theodore Henry. Over the next half hour, we'll uncover the power of science, technology, engineering, arts and math, STEAM education in shaping a brighter future for our youth. Then we'll hear from a self-taught visual artist who's brushing away the stigma by creating a living from his passion. To close out today's show, we'll end with a topic that needs much discussion. That's caring for your mental health. Stay tuned for an exciting lineup that celebrates Jamaica's talent, resilience, and forward-thinking spirit.
In STEM, the teaching is learn by doing. So students don't learn by you telling them what to do, but they actually are able to use that hands-on approach to learn about what it is that they're doing. So for example, we're teaching about light, and we talk about what is light, so you give them a little bit of a background, you find out what they know as well, and then you are now actually creating something. You're making a model, you're using art, you're using science, you're using technology. So you're able to integrate these different disciplines so that students can walk away with the different process skills. In order for them to create, they have to go through a process. They have to think, they have to problem solve. And that is how you get the critical thinking skills and the creativity coming out, these 21st century skills. That is how they're able to actually do it.
Good day, I'm Twyla Whelan and this is your JS News for Wednesday, January 29, 2025. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has announced a $315 million allocation for repairs to homes, in particular roofs, that were damaged during the weather systems that affected the island between July and December last year. Each constituency will receive $5 million and the money is intended for the most vulnerable households.
While the amounts to be recommended for the beneficiary are at the discretion of the Member of Parliament, grants should be within the range of $70,000 to $100,000 to make meaningful improvements to roofs, windows, and sideboardings to ensure that more Jamaican shelters can withstand the next heavy rainfall, tropical depression, or hurricane.
The Prime Minister outlined the initiative during a statement to the House of Representatives yesterday. He says the need is evident even after government's distribution of more than 14,000 burial recovery grants, with still many other households requiring support, most of them to address leaky roofs. Persons who are already beneficiaries of the Hurricane Relief Grant will not be able to benefit from this new allocation. The Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation's National Spatial Data Management Branch has mapped every registered hardware and haberdashery across the island and will be making this information available to the Members of Parliament.
This comprehensive map will not only provide Members of Parliament with a complete list of all the hardware stores in their constituency, but the data has also been spatially represented. This means that at a glance, Members of Parliament will be able to see where each hardware store is located in relation to the household in need of assistance. This will ensure that materials can be sourced locally, reducing transportation costs and improving the efficiency of the program.
Staff of the Constituency Development Fund, the Urban Renewal Program, and of other units within the ministry will be leveraged to assist in the assessment process. In a historic move, government has brought legislation to Parliament seeking to establish Portmore as Jamaica's 15th parish. Minister of Local Government and Community Development Desmond McKenzie tabled the Counties and Parishes Amendment Act 2025 during yesterday's sitting of the House of Representatives. This would be the first time a new parish is being established in post-colonial Jamaica. As outlined in the Memorandum of Objects and Reasons, granting parish status to the current Portmore municipality will strengthen its lobbying capacity and facilitate autonomous management of allocated resources. The move is also expected to empower its citizens to more independently chart the course of development rather than being subject to decisions being made for the parish of St. Catherine. The bill outlines the proposed borders for the parish, starting at the point where the St. Catherine and St. Andrew parish boundary meets at the Nelson Mandela Highway easterly along the Fresh River. It also proposes the area for the city of Portmore to include the lands east of North Ascot, comprising the Portmore Municipal Corporation and the police station, as well as land south of Brayton Parkway, comprising the Inland Revenue Department and commercial entities, and portions of Nago Head and lands north of Brayton Road. 100 roads across the island will commence under the Spark program before the end of this financial year in March. Minister with responsibility for the Works portfolio, Robert Morgan, gave the update during this morning's post-cabinet press briefing at Jamaica House. He says 40 of the roads will be announced in a week's time and the other 60 over a 2-month period. Minister Morgan addressed concerns about why the $40 billion road program has not yet started.
The reason is that we are not going to be wasting taxpayers' money. We have to do the proper designs, we have to do the proper assessment of the roads. There are some roads that require land acquisition, there are some roads that require extensive pipe works, there are some roads that require realignment.
Jamaica's mass casualty response system had a successful test a few days ago, with a full-scale simulation of a large plane crash and the subsequent search and rescue and medical attention for victims. The simulation, which was the final activity under the multinational exercise event Horizon 2025, was held at the Ken Jones Aerodrome in Portland. It was spearheaded by the Jamaica Defence Force and the Ministry of Health and Wellness, with the involvement of several key local and international entities. Director of Emergency Disaster Management and Special Services in the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Dr. Nicole Dawkins-Wright, explains that the simulation exercise tested Jamaica's National Mass Rescue Operations Plan. It also reviewed the ministry's mass casualty incident plan and the country's incident command systems. She says it reinforces training that would have been done and allowed for identification of areas that need strengthening. The Jamaica Fire Brigade, JFB, is reporting a decrease in the number of emergency calls received in 2024. Commissioner of the brigade, Stuart Beckford, says 2024 was an active year as firefighters responded to 19,133 calls. This is a 5% reduction when compared to the 20,152 calls received in 2023.
Genuine fires accounted for 9,775, reflecting a decrease of 1,614 or 14.4% when compared to the figures for 2023, where we had 11,389 genuine fires.
Mr. Beckford was speaking at a recent JS think tank. He reveals that of the total number of genuine fire calls, 1,605 or 16% were structural fires.
These structural fires are categorized into residential and commercial buildings. The brigade also responded to a total of 1,229 residential fires, which represents 76.5% of the total number of structural fires responded to throughout the year.
Other calls responded to included special services, false alarms with good intent, malicious false alarms, and medical emergencies. As it regards call distribution, St. Catherine was the most active division, followed by Kingston and St. Andrew and Westmoreland. And finally, a recent survey has revealed that 45% of Caribbean Maritime University's CMU students secure employment before graduating. The Tracer study of CMU graduates 2019 to 2023 was conducted by the university's research department over a 3-month period in 2024. It was done to assess the employment outcomes of recent CMU graduates, evaluate the effectiveness of its programs, and identify areas for improvement in preparing students for the workforce. Manager for Institutional Research and Business Intelligence at CMU, Dr. Lana Gay Franklin Green, shared the findings during a recent JS think tank. The data shows that 74% of graduates were employed within 6 months of graduation, with 80% securing jobs by the 9-month mark. Of the 994 participants, 99% of them were Jamaicans.
However, we did have participants from other Caribbean countries, such as Antigua, Bahamas, Barbados, and we also had 2 Americans, Chinese and Nigerians, who participated in the study.
Dr. Franklin Green says the findings emphasized the importance of program suitability in attracting and retaining students. And that's it for JS News Today. I'm Twyla Whelan. Thanks for watching.
Once upon a time in a Caribbean island known for its rich culture, natural beauty, lived a group of people who were buried in piles and piles and more piles of paper. Papers spanning back to the start of time. Then came a bright idea, harnessing technology to work smarter and not harder. The government of Jamaica is improving its operations to serve citizens better. Many services are now available online, and there's more to come. The government of Jamaica, building a better public sector for all. STEAM education has become more and more popular in the school curricula. The driving force for this is making sure Jamaica's children, its future adults, can meet the demands of a changing world. And in the process, this form of education is allowing students of all ages to engage in critical thinking, a skill that might be lacking for many.
Let's go full steam ahead!
If you have the opportunity to get a STEM education, then you should, regardless of the field or the career choice. So even if you want to be a lawyer, the skills are transferable. So you still need to be a problem solver. You still need to be able to think critically. Employers are looking for graduates with STEM skills, with these 21st century skills.
Teaching future generations to think logically, critically, and focused on problem solving, all while grasping 21st century skills, is a challenge of a lifetime.
And the right policy to be put in place is to make sure that we are building schools that are going to be empowering our young people with science, technology, engineering, mathematics.
And of course, arts.
Because we believe that that is a space that we own and we can exploit for our economic and social development.
The new STEAM Academy being built at Dumby Holden in Bernard Lodge, St. Catherine, is not where it ends. STEAM is being infused in all aspects of public education, with the method modified to suit each environment. At the Alpha Primary School, a partnership with a private institution, STEM Builders Learning Hub, is expanding the aptitude and skills of children as young as age 6.
Little Einstein's program started in 2022, and it is out of the need to actually reach the students where they are at their different levels, and also to ensure that we start early. So this program primarily is for early childhood education institutions and for primary schools. So the program actually takes place once a week or twice, depending on the need. And we actually take the students through hands-on learning by them creating different things like robots, flashlights. So they're learning the theory, but they're also creating. Hi, I'm Cavell Hilton, CEO and founder of STEM Builders Learning Hub. We connect students to quality science, technology, engineering, and mathematics tutors, as well as resources, including our STEM activity box or science kits. STEM Builders Learning Hub started because we recognize the need to provide quality resources for students.
We have done helium balloons, an explosion, a flashlight, a glow-in-the-dark slide, and now we are building an air car.
One of the major benefits of enrolling children in STEAM education is the fact that it awards them the skills associated with the 4 C's of what is needed to excel in this 21st century: critical thinking, communication, creativity, and collaboration.
STEAM education is very inclusive because it encourages students to do hands-on activities, and the kind of question that students are asked to answer, they're not given the answer, so they would need to think about it. It allows them to experiment if they are wrong. It also gives them the time to go back, think about what they did wrong and how they are able to correct it.
As it relates to artificial intelligence, AI, I'm optimistic about the future as it relates to it. And knowing everything, you have negative and positive. But I think the approach is for us not to fear the technology because it's here, whether we like it or not. And so my approach is to figure out how we can use it in our classroom in a safe way, and also for us to be able to not just be consumers of this technology, but that we try to also create things that will represent our perspective and our point of view from this side of the world, from a female, from a black person, from a Caribbean person.
The goal of STEAM education is to foster the true innovation that comes with combining the mind of a scientist or technologist with that of an artist or designer and letting it work together for the greater good. So, how prepared are you in getting your child ready for STEAM education? It's already here. Get with the times and help put your child on the map with the skills of tomorrow.
Jamaica's population is aging rapidly. Over 350,000, or 13.2% of Jamaicans, are senior citizens. These individuals deserve our care and respect. Very often, our senior citizens are neglected, disregarded, and disrespected. It's time to act. A special select committee of the Senate is reviewing a motion proposing the creation of an Elderly Care and Protection Act to better safeguard the rights and dignity of our senior citizens. We invite you to share your suggestions and recommendations about what should be included in this act. Send your submission in writing to Clerk to the Houses, Gordon House, 81 Duke Street, Kingston, or email clark@japarliament.gov.jm. The deadline for submissions is February 15, 2025. Let's work together to protect and create a more inclusive and supportive Jamaica for our senior citizens.
Traditional versus non-traditional career paths, a popular yet necessary topic of discussion. Watch now as this self-taught visual artist takes us on the journey into following his passions.
Imagine living in a world where you're oftentimes overlooked. You're stereotyped and ridiculed for the environment in which you grew up, the environment that taught you all you know. Although this might not be your reality, it's the reality for many Jamaicans. But hey, don't be all sad and gloomy. Who said those living in such areas didn't create their own fun? Who said there weren't a set of talented and creative people? Let's think outside of the box.
My name is Conroy Green and I'm a Jamaican self-taught fine artist. The inspiration behind this mural piece in Tivoli Gardens came from a friend of mine, O'Neill Cook, aka Coco. He's a resident of the community and he's somebody that loves to give back to the community, mentors children and stuff like that. And he would have told me about the vision to uplift the community after the 2010 incursion. The message I'd love to convey from this mural is Afrocentrism and community comradeship with its beautification and emotional value. The response from the community has been amazing. I feel like a billionaire. Every day working on this piece, the residents, even passerby, they would have expressed their appreciation for what we are doing in the community with art. The symbolism of the female figure represents the matriarchal essence of our people, women being very much valuable to our culture. Afrocentrism, as was mentioned before, You know, we are all from a woman. The woman represents Mother Nature, Mother Africa. So we want to bring about that pride amongst our people.
They say people live by what they learn, and although we see Conroy now challenging himself by having completed this mural, his first love and what he does daily is painting on canvas.
I've been pursuing a career in fine arts for 6 years, but 4 years professionally. Because of the pandemic, I had to search myself to make something of myself. You know, during that period, people never had jobs and stuff like that. So because I was practicing my art, I sought how best I could earn from it. So with painting, I posted my work on social media. My work is comprised of oil paintings, like this one here. You can see the title of that piece is Mapogo. So basically, Mapogo is the name of a Spartan pride of lions in Africa. 5 brothers of lions. The lion is significantly known to be dominant and so many things. I love lions. This here is acrylic. This is alkebalon. This is actually the canvas piece for the beautiful mural that is painted in Tivoli Gardens. You can find that on Zaki Avenue. I find that over a period of time, growing more passionately about my craft, I now understand that my purpose is to inspire with my art. You'd find that most people would esteem prestigious career paths like lawyers, doctors, police officers. But if we should consider the reality of things, you'd find that most young people, after leaving high school, after leaving college, they're left without a job. So with me pursuing my God-given talent, I want to inspire others to search themselves, to do the things that they love and see how best they can make a living from that. Art plays an important role in self-development on a wide scale. So with us expressing ourselves as creatives, we can inspire our communities at large. With youths in our communities, they can become more resourceful, more productive. So we are leading by example. You know, we as an individual, we can make impacts in our community. We definitely will be looking forward to taking our creative efforts to even outside of Tivoli Gardens. But the mural project is one that is continual. So in the near future, we'll be moving around the community to find buildings to paint. I've learned so much from this experience, the importance of teamwork, the importance of being productive and resourceful, being that we can use our God-given talents. As we say in Jamaica, we turn one hand and make fashion. You know, we can uplift our own lives with what we have, you know, because this is very much evident from the response of the mural and the artwork that is being done in Tivoli Gardens.
Challenging society to accept all its people has been a long-awaited aspiration, one that cannot be achieved by just one person breaking the stigma. Let us all take a step to make a change in whichever part of Jamaica we are, in whichever area that interests us. Conroy chose to brush away the stigma by bringing beauty into a place that seemed dull. What will you do next?
Did you know that prioritizing time to do self-care, whether it's working out, keeping up with monthly beauty maintenance, or preparing healthy meals, did you know that it plays a role in maintaining good mental health? Professor Abel explains why we need it in the first place.
It's very important that we all take care of our mental health. Good mental health, mental wellness impacts on and will affect how we live within our family, interact with family members. When we enjoy good mental wellness, it impacts on how we function in school, function at the workplace, relate to members in our community, members at church, and the wider society. So it's very important for us to enjoy mental wellness. There are some important things that we need to do. First of all, take care of ourselves. Self-care is important. It's also important for us to establish high value, healthy social connections. Yes? What we find is that people who live longer, live healthier on a daily basis are people who invest in good social relationships, with your family, with your friends, people at school, people at the workplace, people in your community of faith. So it's so important for us to find time to invest and to interact with people. It's also important for us to recognize that, mental illness can affect anyone in the community, anyone in our family, and that when we're not doing well, it's so important for us to seek help very early. I know we live in a society where there's a lot of negative attitudes, high level of stigma towards mental health and mental illness. But it's so important for us to, when we're having problems, when we're having difficulty, be it not sleeping well or struggling at the workplace, difficulty studying at school, or problems relating with others around us, indicate that we're having some mental health challenges, yes? And when these things are happening to us, it's important for us to seek professional help early. And in seeking professional help, it's so important that we choose people who are adequately trained, because there are lots of people who are out there practicing who are not adequately trained, and they can give us wrong advice, treat us in inappropriate ways. We're also living in a world, post-pandemic, after the pandemic, where we've seen a surge in mental health problems, especially among young people. Depression, suicidal ideation, problems adjusting to school and so on. And we're seeing it, based on the number of persons young people who are coming forward for help. And what I want to advise parents, family members, teachers, and so on, to recognize that our young people are having mental health challenges, and when they present, let us listen to them, respond to them in a non-judgmental manner, and most importantly, encourage them to seek help very early. It's very important, because too many young people have found that they have not been able to achieve their goals in studying or career goals because of mental illness and not having gotten treatment early in their illness. So I encourage us, encourage our young people, support them to seek help when it's necessary.
We're at the end of today's show, but be sure to join us again tomorrow for another lineup geared towards providing you with information on the government's policies and initiatives for building a better Jamaica. You may visit our website, jis.gov.jm, to rewatch this show or to catch up on the others we have on the site. I'm Theodore Henry, telling you thanks for watching from our production team here at the JIS.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.